Policemen paint a grim picture of the hardships faced while on duty. Hospital staff demand explanation on delayed entitlements. And Prime Minister calls for an end to bribe culture.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for Monday's news. Putting an end to the bribe culture in the public service and ensuring businesses thrive to grow the country's economy. That's the message from Pangu Party leader and Prime Minister James Marape. He was speaking at the Pangu Party Gala dinner, reassuring the business community that the government is serious about growing SME and local businesses in the country. The Gala dinner also played host to coalition parties, including National Alliance, People's Party, United Labour Party and 4 other minority parties, signing a memorandum of understanding as coalition partners.
Prime Minister James Marape and wife Rachel, along with Pangu Party members of Parliament and non-parliamentary staff, welcomed supporters and guests. Many of the paying guests were business houses and investors. The Prime Minister's speech fitting for the business community as they applauded the mention of the end to the bribe culture within the public service.
Especially when businesses want to do business in our country, I encourage every agent of public servants. And I note here members of the National Procurement Commission who are in the crowd. I know here few of our key public service leaders who are in the crowd. May you not become impediments for business, but facilitators for business to grow in our country. Without these businesswomen or men or business entities in our country, you and me will not be earning our salary. They pay taxes to keep us running government and employed as public servants.
Mr. Marape saying the slogan Pangu Sawe Longrot as he stressed on how PNG can become economically independent.
What is economic independent, one may ask? Simply, it's about our people and our business partners having money in their pockets. That we believe is people empowerment to be self-dependent and becoming very independent. Present-day Pangu is about creating legislative, policy and budgetary pathways for our citizens and corporate friends to be empowered to do business in Papua New Guinea.
The 2020 budget putting aside 200 million kina for small to medium enterprise, the incentive in the hope to grow business culture in PNG and to increase tax collection. The Prime Minister saying that he took offense to a comment by an expatriate that Papua New Guineans were poor and that people need to realize the value of having full ownership of traditional land.
And she said Papua New Guineans are poor and poor Papua New Guineans. May I remind her and those who think we are poor? Not too many countries in the world that has citizens own a piece of real estate. Our country, 97% of our land is still owned by our people. We are all landowners in our land. But lately, landowning has been defined to only those who are in the oil and gas industry. And landowning has been defined to only those who are in the mining industry. I'd like to reopen our mind today. Landowning must never be strictly confined to oil and gas and mining. For all of us are landowners. You can grow your coffee, you can do your timber, you can grow your tea, you can do your copra, you can grow your businesses in every other field that anchors and seed on land. It's just not about mining, oil and gas.
And to put the final blow of confidence, 7 coalition parties, including National Alliance, United Labour Party, People's Party, Allegiance, People's Movement for Change, People's Progress Party and United Resource Party signed an MOU with Pangu as coalition partners. Adelaide Sirkskari, National EMTV News.
The Madang community is concerned about the safety and welfare of women and girls due to the high rate of criminal activities in the province. They gathered last Wednesday to address these issues. Their concerns come following the killing of a policeman in Madang last week.
On Wednesday, the community leaders met to air their concerns of the alarming rate of violence, killing and other criminal activities happening in the province every day. Former Governor James Siali, who was at the meeting, says there is a lack of leadership demonstrated by the current elected leaders that had led to many criminal activities.
We die, killings, cuttings, still passing, and increase.
The leaders are calling on a second meeting to be held on the 11th of January next year for all concerned citizens, including the people of Medellin, to attend. The meeting is to get ideas on how communities and business can work together with police in addressing the escalating crime. Provincial Police Commander Senior Inspector Manju Rubian warned locals to be cautious of whom they invite to settle amongst them, saying most criminals are members of the community who were invited by the locals in the first place and are becoming troublemakers. Community leaders and elected members, including business houses and concerned citizens of Medellin, are asked to attend the gathering on the 11th of January 2020. Mathalubi's National EMTV News, Medellin.
This is National EMTV News. We'll be back with more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. After a successful year of delivering the Bougainville referendum, the National Coordination Office of Bougainville Affairs is now looking forward to the next phase, which is the consultation between Bougainville and the PNG government. In his end-of-year remarks to the office, Minister for Bougainville Affairs, Sir Pukatemu, congratulated the employees for a job well done. The minister says next year will be a challenging year for the office.
With the success of achieving the third pillar of the Bougainville Peace Agreement, the referendum, Minister responsible Sir Pukatemu called on Papua New Guineans to adhere to the law, adding that the Constitution does not prescribe a time frame for consultation.
The Constitution does not prescribe a time frame for the consultation process, different from the referendum process where a specific time frame was prescribed. But for the consultation period, no time frame was prescribed. And so there is that understanding between the President and his team from the Autonomous Bougainville government and the Prime Minister and our team from the national government, and there is a very clear understanding.
The minister says that a cabinet paper is being prepared to appoint a national consultation team. He also added that the next two important events to follow are the National Reconciliation Program and the Economic Summit of Bougainville. However, both dates are yet to be confirmed.
I view the national reconciliation as part of a process that begins the consultation phase. We have yet to agree to the actual dates, but we will inform the country on the National Reconciliation Program. I have requested the Prime Minister that we want to invite all the former Prime Ministers to attend because we want to make this an eventful occasion.
A 40-day period has been given to the end of January for anyone who wishes to dispute the results of the referendum. However, the minister says his office has not received any objection. Pamela Barara, National EMTV News.
Eastern Highlands Governor Peter Numu says the upgrade of the Highlands Highway must be priority due to the bad roads affecting business along the highway. Numu said the highway is an economic backbone that needs urgent upgrade to boost economic activity in the provinces linked by the highway.
Road that links Papua New Guinea's highlands to the islands, but this highway has seen better days. Sections of the road have deteriorated, affecting drivers and vehicles that use this highway. Pokoroka has been driving trucks along this highway for 19 years. He gets paid for the number of trips he makes, and this has reduced because of the bad roads.
Road am right time, you walk on triple trip, no more 1 week. So 2 weeks you walk on 6 trip. So now I'm road and bagarap, skin and bagarap, potol, hard long you go because cargo and stop now. Still man's a calab back road am right time, you around Tasson nowhere.
Mr. Koroka says it has become expensive to keep vehicles running on these roads.
Kagoya fish rice, oil, one is the thing more cement. Because you will drive a car so road and right them, you make a run a rep. Kago you can put in the cargo price to him going to so road and bagarap expense look to him going to.
Earlier this year, former Prime Minister Peter O'Neill launched the Highlands Highway Rehabilitation Program that would cost about 3 billion kina. This project will start from Nadzap in Morabe to the Western Highlands province.
Big lo trucking company and also small goods. Sample lo goods lo lay come go on top lo islands go on top. Okay, resource blimi on top. Sample also transporting come go down low. Wharf, agriculture produce too or farmers too. So time blow you lo goya this la roads a bagarape to slow him down.
Eastern Highlands Governor Peter Numu said this upgrade and maintenance has to be done quickly because it is important for the economy. Mr. Numu said the contractors also have to be supervised to ensure work is done on time.
If we give them money and we are not supervising things on the ground, they will slow things down. Developing walking road, all but slow him down. You give money, you have to monitor. Now, you must make sure that all day working within the time and within the budget for the good of our economic development.
Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News.
Passengers on board a Toyota Land Cruiser on its way to Wewak in East Sepik were involved in a nasty road accident today. Villagers near Warasawa in the Yanguru Sausia district assisted the driver and his crew to safety moments after the crash. Eyewitnesses say the Land Cruiser was coming down a hill when it slipped and crashed. No serious injuries were sustained, but the damage on the vehicle is quite severe. It is understood a road construction is taking place where the accident occurred. You're with National EMTV News. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll bring you news making headlines overseas. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. The employees of Engau Provincial Hospital in Leh, including senior doctors and nurses, stopped work today and demanded an explanation from the CEO on the delay of their annual entitlements. This was the first time the staff have experienced delays in their entitlements and requested the CEO to step down. The CEO and the Morabe governor addressed their grievances. Sexual abuse of minors was rife among superiors of the Legionnaires of Christ Catholic Religious Order. A report by the group showed that at least 60 boys were abused by its founding father, Marcial Maciel, whom everyone thought was a saint. The release of this report is important because for decades until 2006, including during all of the pontificate of Pope John Paul, the Vatican dismissed accusations that Maciel had abused them sexually, some when they were as young as 12.
The report that was released over the weekend and covers the period since Maciel founded it in his native Mexico in 1941 to the SIA was an additional attempt by the Legionnaires to confront their history. Maciel, who died in 2008, was perhaps the Roman Catholic Church's most notorious pedophile. Even abusing children, he had fathered secretly with at least 2 women, while living a double life and being fitted by the Vatican and church conservatives. 92-year-old Cardinal Angelo Sodano, who was Secretary of State under Pope John Paul, was for years one of the Legionnaires' biggest protectors in the Vatican. Pope Francis accepted his resignation as Dean of the College of Cardinals on Saturday and simultaneously changed church law to limit the dean's position to a 5-year term rather than for life. The Vatican first acknowledged Maciel's crimes in 2006 when former Pope Benedict ordered him to retire to a life of prayer and penitence. But Benedict resisted calls from some in the church who said the order should be dissolved because it was toxic to the core. The Vatican instead took over the order in 2010 and began a process of reform. The new report says that between 1941 and 2019, 175 minors were victims of abuse by 33 priests in the order. At least 60, or about one-third, were abused by Maciel himself. Most of his victims, boys between 11 and 16.
I think the religion is for us to feel good. We come and trust the church with the well-being of a child, and this happens. This is very bad, and that's why a lot of faith has been lost. People go to other religions under which the same thing happens. So where is one to go for refuge?
There'll be no rest for thousands of firefighters in Australia this Christmas Day as they race ahead of more dangerous conditions later this week. More than 900 properties have been destroyed to date, with the numbers from the last 48 hours still to be confirmed. 3.4 million hectares of land is burnt so far. The next couple of days are critical ahead of more sizzling temperatures. More than 2,000 firefighters are on the ground battling the fires in the next few days, including Christmas.
Close-up look at the charred remains of Balmoral, the small township southwest of Sydney, the latest to fall victim to raging bushfires.
There is nothing to come back to.
This man and his family fought for their home, but the blaze got the upper hand.
It was sufficient to blow in 6.4 millimeter double glazed laminated glass. We built this property to be defendable.
A volunteer firefighter's home also destroyed while he was helping a neighbour save theirs.
I haven't been this close.
This fire season's eclipsed all others. Prime Minister Scott Morrison getting a look at the damage to the Blue Mountains from the air.
And we saw what is, the absolute incineration of such large tracts of land, and to see the homes decimated.
I saw today, literally, it was metres between rows of houses in what we regard as suburbia going up.
In Bilpin, this couple risked their lives to save the orchards they've nurtured for 35 years.
So this is probably quite a few $100,000 worth of fruit that's been lost now.
5,000 uninsured trees have been lost. It's expected they'll take 3 years to grow back. And a reminder, it's not just New South Wales suffering. In South Australia, around 90 homes have now been destroyed.
I should have grabbed the photos.
Amid the devastation, stories of survival. This orphaned wallaby scooped up by firefighters.
I think my daughter said she wanted to call her lucky.
And the potter who hid from the blaze inside a shelter he made from the insulation used for kilns.
It's suitable for 1,300 degrees centigrade. So if the heat can't get out of a kiln, the bushfire heat can't get into this little sort of kiln. So it's just big enough for me to lie in there with my fire blanket and my extinguisher.
His home, which he covered in tinfoil, safe too.
I'm lucky to be alive.
Thousands of firefighters will continue the fight over Christmas.
There's nothing that I feel that I could do to show the gratitude that we have.
They're great people. They do a tremendous job when the odds are against them.
They're strengthening containment lines and carrying out backburning to try to take some control.
If crews can get these backburns in place, we can start to reduce the threat.
In South Australia, conditions are likely to get worse before they improve. However, in New South Wales, the short-term forecast is favourable. Rain is possible and no doubt on the top of the Christmas wish list, with elevated fire conditions expected later this week.
The devastation's extensive in the tiny New South Wales town of Dargan, where two men volunteering took on a blaze which destroyed nearly every home around them.
They call it a mega blaze for a reason.
Get the dogs! Get the dogs! Come on!
On Valley View Road in Dargan, two mates did what they could.
Come on, bro! Jump in! Come on! Holy
homes around them were catching fire and the wind was angry. But they didn't give up.
Liam, down on the ground! Other side! That's it, mate.
The home survived on a road where 16 were lost.
I own the block a few doors up, lost my caravan and shipping container and car and whatever else was up there, but main thing is the house is all good.
Battled on and just kept spraying things, kept spraying red things, and it sort of sorted itself out, I think.
Their efforts earning the respect of firefighters.
When we come back out up the street after it was all over, the fireys come up to us and shook our hands and said, like, we're good to see you. Like, we didn't think we'd see you.
A few doors up, Susan and Nick Alexander weren't so lucky.
Our home is completely gone. Sheds are melted. Everything's exploded. We have nothing from a home. My neighbour's house is gone, I know that as well. He's 79.
A donkey named Caleb defied the odds and survived as the bushfire tore through the small community. More than 30 homes destroyed between Lithgow, Clarence and Dargan just 3 days before Christmas.
What I've got now is a backyard and, I don't know, it's lonely. Not much out here.
Yeah, that's Christmas. Yeah, okay.
Doesn't feel very Christmassy, does it?
Not a lot.
And back home, up to 10 policemen in Madang have been attacked in the last 24 months as the Provincial Police Command struggles to reduce the escalating crime. Officers who spoke to EMTV today with permission from the Provincial Police Commander said each man is working 12 to 16-hour shifts and fear for the safety of their families. The men and women are faced with lingering housing and fuel shortages.
For the past 12 months, the media's attention has focused on Madang not as a tourist destination, but as a hotspot for crime. Police at the Jomba station, where the provincial police headquarters is located, say every week they attend to between 50 and 60 violent alcohol-related incidents. Sometimes these incidences escalate to serious crimes like murder. The number of armed robberies is at an all-time high, with at least 6 incidents a week.
Even only picking no sadrina, this humble to a big plateau. Once a dream finish, all no house, all Sanaba road, all the carry on pastoral night, all local Burkina and big plateau here.
But it's not just the citizens of Madang who are bearing the brunt of this surge in crime. Being on the front line, police officers are also being targeted by criminals and opportunists.
Laos blumi o living kam Burkina. Kalau kan breaking entah laus belum mesti lah time ni antol kata pigin ini na mirim belaga hotel kan noli Brooklyn Islana.
Senior Constable Solomon William, Task Force Commander in Madang, was moved from a settlement where he resided to an already condemned police barracks after he was attacked.
Family belum ia tem, boleh tem bayi luki membik lo bagarap troll sim. I'm affecting all through ya. Lo kind of side lo mi play no siran but people must move around. Time all postman or looking mosem time all taking yourself quick time only rausi mi go so kind of same effect lo how mi plus work here he said plenty time by looking mi plus work committee mi play there mi plus suppose lo work ita was no time mi plus brusim na mi plus work mas more than 16-17 hours mi plus work here.
Outside, Corporal John Solala, task force member, shows the injuries he got when he was attacked earlier this month. He didn't want to speak on camera, but he said the Madang task force became a target after they were accused of shooting an armed robbery suspect. He said his daughter and his wife were also threatened. At the Nagara settlement, Constable Tika Aso tells me he and his family face an impending eviction by the government. Earlier this year, he was stabbed and slashed by a mob after he and 2 other officers tried to arrest troublemakers drunk on steam at a school graduation.
From time me sleep office na kain kam very blue to so one belly me side walk. Now to plenty time long when the minusa come close over time lost me sleep office me walk me round outside go me come merina pinglo to need the presence room lo stalaos na all to stalo pret na. All those are barracks, also are block and all Spakman sing out, one them also pret and all stuff. Me to think we do still walk, me around me setting.
The provincial police commander says getting Medang back in order is a difficult task, and the past problems have to be resolved before Medang can move forward. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Medang.
Meanwhile, settlers at Medang's Waggle settlement, whose houses were burnt by police 2 weeks ago, are planning to take legal action for damages caused. About 120 houses were set alight by police in retaliation for the killing of one of their men at Mildas Market.
Close to 400 men, women and children living at Waggle settlement in Medang are homeless and are living in temporary shelter. These people lost their belongings after their houses were burned by police in retaliation over the killing of a policeman 2 weeks ago. Settlers claim they are innocent. They say they had no relationship with any of the suspects involved in the incident.
City Council online online clean up town. Giving sample donation nothing sad long online nabla line outside all chole mibla bring 1 toys na 1 set all cross road meli plate saucepan all bring me come inside.
This group of settlers are now living in tents with just the clothes they had on when they lost all their belongings. The tents and clothes given to them by the provincial government and Medang district aren't enough for the 120 household population.
So now this lady me come long all line. All sabit la call all right way only make me AB. Me bla kasi mo youths na go walk pins all papa go walk ante mo tikin ni man all brata. Siya pa ay mix mo house. AB am coming jela me bla kirap no me bla
They need more tents, water bottles, mosquito nets and cooking utensils among others.
So lo side the government and the emission na emission mo every day between the house now ben na all tap long and me bla stop on the wali na in wet lo there something.
Police have since apprehended 5 suspects allegedly involved in the killing of the policemen, and they are now in custody.
Policemen daya mi black 5 la finish. So far 5 plus suspect we bring finish now charge more finish. I think probably tomorrow I think we'll batang come up local. See the work lo so far mi black 3 plus so mi black go rate na 2 plus only 2 results so have been black. Total of 5 suspect involved in black finish.
Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Medang.
In support of the police Christmas and New Year operation, the PNG Fujian Association donated 20,000 kina worth of food rations to NCD police today. The support is in response to an appeal by the NCD Metropolitan Command to support the festive season operation.
The PNG Fujian Association today donated 20,000 kina worth of food rations to the NCD police to assist in their Christmas New Year operations. The support is in response to an appeal by the Metropolitan Superintendent, Pero Drono, last month. Metropolitan Superintendent Drono thanked the association for the generous donation.
It's very difficult to run the operation ourselves. Their support has gone a long way and given us the morale that we know that despite this limitation from government services, we have the community like PNG Fujian Association that is willing to put their support behind something that we also be supporting the police service to ensure it's safe for all of us during this festive season.
The association donated biscuits, tea bags, milk and noodles for the duty policemen. The association's Director of Relations, Jovin Yan, thanked the police for their good work in keeping the city safe.
Now already contribute goods worth 20,000 for support police by the Christmas operation.
Mr. Jono said the operations in the city ended its first phase yesterday and will begin on the next phase. The third phase will commence well into the new year. Natasha Ovoy, National EMTV News.
Police operations throughout Manus province have come into full swing today following numerous awareness conducted at LLG and ward levels. Members of the mobile squad, 10 members from Southern Highlands, are in Manus to support this festive operation.
The 2019 Christmas and New Year police operations in Manus is targeted at minimizing road accidents, execution of bench warrants, and footbeat patrols. Manus Police Commander Chief Inspector David Yapu says police will be out in numbers to ensure the festive season is safely celebrated. In 2019, Manus Police recorded an increase in reported sexual offences allegedly committed by asylum seekers and refugees living in the province. But the biggest investigation in Manus is the killing of 10 Chinese nationals who died in a fire in 2017. This case is still being investigated by members of the Criminal Investigation Division based in Port Moresby and remains unsolved to date. Meanwhile, a liquor ban will be imposed on December 24th to December 27th and 30th December to January 1st, 2020 in Lorengau Town. Thakla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Up next, we'll take a look at some sporting updates in Chukai Sports. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. Francis Takai was named in the SB Hunters preseason squad from the Egmark Rabaul Warriors. Takai, 25, from a mixed parentage of East New Britain and Simbu, has always dreamt of playing for the SB Hunters and now has a chance to make this dream a reality.
Francis Takai has enjoyed pre-season training. So far, training under coach Matthew Church, he has learnt many new things. Takai was selected from the Egmark Rabaul Warriors. He usually plays as a lock, second row, or in the centres.
The pre-season training was very well done, very good. I enjoyed my pre-season training, and when I first came to the camp, the boys were very kind to me, like they talking good to me and making me feel like I'm back in Korea's camp also.
Takai, along with other new members of the pre-season squad, have looked up to many senior players in the Hunters team. Francis has always idolized players like Enoch Maki and Redley Brower.
I learned a lot of things, especially the basic skills, and I learned a lot of things. And every week, it's been like third week now, and I think it's every week I try to build on and get up to the standard where it used to be.
The 25-year-old has always dreamt of playing for the SB Hunters and the PNG LNG Kumul's, a dream which is sure to be a reality if named in the final 30-man squad for the 2020 season.
When I get a call from Hunters, I was so happy and so excited about joining the camp. It was a privilege and my dream come true, and I was so excited when I came first here.
The SB Hunters pre-season squad has broken camp for the festive season and will return on the 6th of January 2020. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
National boxing legend and Oceania Fight Promotions official Martin Benny was awarded last Wednesday during the Queen's Diamond Jubilee in Berena Kairuku district at Central Province. He was recognized as the first professional boxer in Papua New Guinea. The retired boxer to date is still involved in the sport and says nothing will stop his passion and love for boxing.
Being a pro boxer at the age of 20 in the late 1970s, Martin Benny from Waima in the Kairuku district of Central Province was known for his short arm blows against his taller opponents. The former pro boxer, now at the age of 69, last week was recognized by the government of Papua New Guinea and Queen Elizabeth II for his profession as a professional boxer. Upon receiving his medal, Benny said he had waited so long for this award and has finally received it. Benny aspires to pass his knowledge of pro boxing to young men and women who seek boxing as their profession.
So even though today I may be old, I'm 69 today, And then I love just walking out and holding the bag, punching it, or even the pads, And it shows that I'm not old yet.
He is currently working with a new company, Oceania Fight Promotions, headed by former MP Ben Micah. The company in June signed 10 fighters who were coached and mentored by Benny. These fighters are now part of international fights both in PNG and overseas. Michelle Steven, National EMTV Sports.
Chukai Sports continues with more after these messages. Don't go away.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome back to Chukai Sports. Two tennis and two superstars of world tennis are joining the forces in New Zealand in just a few weeks. Serena Williams and Caroline Wozniacki will team up in the doubles for the first time ever at the ASP Classic in Auckland.
Former world number ones, Serena Williams and Caroline Wozniacki, have done it all on the tennis court, but they've never played on the same side of the net until now.
Look, it's amazing. It means we get a second bite at two absolute legends. So, I think now, particularly across Monday, Tuesday, you're almost guaranteed to see them.
The ASB Classic will be the first time Williams has partnered someone other than her sister. Together with Venus, Serena's amassed 14 Grand Slam doubles titles and 3 Olympic gold medals. But Williams and Wozniacki know each other well, from their rivalry on court to their friendship off it. In fact, Williams was a bridesmaid for the Dane earlier this year.
It'll be a pretty tough opponent to beat. Serena's serve, Caroline's movement around the court, Serena's forehand, Caroline's backhand. It's a pretty scary prospect.
Also revealed today, a new kakahu cloak, gifted to the tournament by Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei, created to honour Ruia Morrison, the first Māori to play at Wimbledon.
Well, I'm actually stoked and over the moon. Extremely humbled to be given the honour.
It'll be presented to the women's singles winner, but the 83-year-old's not playing favourites over who she'd like to see earn it.
I'm not a betting person anyway. I never think of in that way. I know I'll be tickled pink to watch the standard of each one of them who are playing.
Perhaps these new teammates may even face off against each other in the singles draw, a chance to wear the Ruia Morrison cloak for the first time.
It's the Christmas present Netball New Zealand was hoping for. Silver Ferns World Cup winning coach Nolin Taurua has signed on for another year.
Ready to take on the world again, although at this stage, 1 year at a time.
Yeah, it's a biggie. Look, I'm really excited by it.
Nolene Taurua's new updated deal now runs through until the end of February in 2021. She shifted home from her Australia base just a fortnight ago to be closer to family.
Netball New Zealand have been wonderful in regards to being flexible, but also the offset to that, what I really like and enjoy is that we have a long-term plan, which is 4 years.
Taurua's deal, albeit just a year extension, does add some solidity at the top with a changing of the guard in certain positions. How hard did you try to lock her in for that 4-year cycle?
Yeah, look, I'd have loved to have her up till 2023, but it's been really important for it to be the right thing for her and her family. But I have no doubt that Knowles is looking at a longer term level of success for this team, and she'll play a part irrespective of what that might look like.
That could include overseeing coaches and the national program as a whole. The immediate goal for next year, winning the Constellation Cup of Australia, a trophy held just once by New Zealand in its 10-year existence. This year under Taurua, the Ferns only missed out on the 4-test series overall by goal difference.
That's probably the next closest thing to the Netball World Cup over this year and also next.
Nolene Taurua's first assignment, leading the world champion Ferns to the Nations Cup in England in just a few weeks.
You're watching Chukai Sports. Up next, the weather details for the next 24 hours.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Money Plus. With you always.
And a look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. Fine in Port Moresby and Daru, partly cloudy in Kerema, cloudy at times in Alutau, and cloudy with rain showers in Popondita. In the Momasa region, partly cloudy with a shower or two. In Medang and Wewak, cloudy with morning rain showers, cloudy with thundery showers at times in Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine in Lorengau, a few showers at times in Kavieng, mostly cloudy with brief showers at times in Kokopo and Rabaul, cloudy with brief showers at times in Kimbe, and cloudy with thundery showers later in Buka. And in the Highlands region, rain showers, then morning fog in Mount Hagen, rain drizzles, then morning fog in Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabag.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by Money Plus, with you always.
And that's been National EMTV News this Monday. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you for your company. Good night.